9:47 p.m. Received message from attorney. Welcome to Crisis Narrative Hub. The text arrived at 9:47 p.m. Emergency hearing rescheduled for tomorrow. Your legal representative has requested a forensic audit of your business. Contact me. I fixed my gaze on my lawyer's message, seating myself in the same leather chair where I had asked for my wife's hand in marriage 12 years prior. Colette was upstairs, methodically packing her belongings, ensuring each drawer's slam echoed through the house. She had already filed for divorce and enlisted Theodore Vance, the most formidable attorney in the county. She had disseminated among friends that I was domineering, emotionally distant, potentially unfaithful. Unbeknownst to her, I'd spent the last 6 weeks meticulously recording evidence. Yet, what mattered more was she'd overlooked page 7. I first crossed paths with Colette Brennan at a medical conference in 2012. I was a pharmaceutical consultant. She was an ambitious hospital administrator known for her sharp intellect and wit. Our relationship developed swiftly, a whirlwind where we completed each other's thoughts after 3 weeks. 8 months after my proposal, she shed tears of joy before I could finish my question. At this point, my lawyer, Gerald, advised we draft a prenuptial agreement. You're bringing significant assets into this union, Gerald outlined in his downtown office. Your consulting firm, your inheritance from your father's estate, your investment portfolio. You require protection. To my surprise, Colette consented. I fully comprehend, she responded, gripping my hand. I'm marrying you, not your wealth. The agreement was extensive, containing typical asset separation clauses and business safeguards. However, Gerald insisted on one particular amendment, an unusual behavior-activated clause, Section 4C, page 7 of the prenup, the infidelity forfeiture provision. If either party engaged in extramarital relationships during the marriage, they would relinquish all claims to spousal support, equitable division of marital assets beyond what they initially brought into the union, and any stake in the other's interests. Business-related matters. The agreement necessitated solid and compelling evidence such as photos, videos, written correspondence, or sworn testimonies from witnesses. This is customary in substantial matrimonial assets, Gerald clarified. It safeguards both of you. Colette scrutinized it thoroughly, posed 3 queries for clarity, affixed her initials 13 times over 5 pages of subclauses, then she signed at the bottom of page 8 on May 3, 2013. We both concurred. I truly thought we wouldn't require it. The first hint of discord emerged 16 months ago when Colette began working late. Not sporadically a few times, but almost every 3 to 4 nights a week. She would arrive home after 10 p.m. with the aroma of wine and an unfamiliar, expensive cologne. Upon questioning about her evenings, she'd react sharply. You wouldn't comprehend the stress I'm under. Her hospital was going through administrative restructuring. She had been promoted to the position of operations director. The rationale seemed plausible until I observed her second phone. I didn't locate it myself, but I observed her using a second device. Our breakfast was interrupted when her iPhone buzzed on the counter. She checked it, appeared troubled, and retrieved another gadget from her purse. After a 4-minute conversation in hushed tones, she left the room, returning with the phone missing. Work phone, she explained before I could question her. This phone was password protected differently than her main device and separated during showers, raising my curiosity. I'm not typically suspicious, but the facts weren't aligning. Tuesday and Thursday evenings were consistent with Colette's late meetings, which always resulted in her returning home in altered attire. Her refusal to engage in physical intimacy and unusual credit card charges for room service at a downtown hotel further piqued my interest. After 3 days of contemplation, I realized she might be using the hotel room for undisclosed activities. Colette left her laptop open while showering, revealing an email from someone named Kieran. The message contained an arrangement for Thursday evenings and an attachment, which depicted Colette with an unrecognized man in a hotel room, exhibiting affection I hadn't seen in over a year. The image metadata confirmed it was taken 6 weeks prior. I captured a picture of the screen with my phone, closed the browser, and continued pretending to read on my tablet when she returned home 20 minutes later. I contacted Gerald immediately after her departure, who advised against confronting her yet. If she was indeed involved in an affair, I required substantive evidence, as the prenuptial agreement's infidelity clause demands clear and compelling proof. A single photo wouldn't suffice. She could claim it was innocent. Gerald suggested I need multiple instances, communications demonstrating intent, preferably witness testimony or video evidence. He recommended hiring an investigator, instructing me to do so correctly. I engaged the services of a private detective named Marlowe that afternoon, a former police officer with 23 years of experience and expertise in domestic cases. I supplied him with Colette's schedule, vehicle details, and the pattern I had identified. I requested confirmation either way, as I needed to know if there was something truly amiss in our marriage if my suspicions were unfounded. Marlowe contacted me 4 days later with his findings. Meeting face-to-face instead of over the phone is crucial with Harrington, Marlowe stated, as his office was situated in a refurbished warehouse close to the industrial area. Upon my arrival, he displayed 8 large photographs sprawled across his desk, depicting Colette and Kieran Ashford, hotel owner, entering the building together, followed by images of them in the hotel bar, the parking garage, and kissing, all dated and time-stamped. He then presented me with a tablet containing the hotel's guest registry showing room 412 booked under Kieran's name on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 6 months, with 2 individuals entering each time, and phone records revealing over 2,400 text messages exchanged between them in 4 months. A second phone was traced to a strip mall near the hospital, registered under a different name, possibly his. The evidence was extensive, systematic, and damning. I inquired about my recommendation, to which he suggested securing all data, making copies, and filing first to prevent her from doing so. 3 days later, Colette filed for divorce via process server at my office, accompanied by a request for immediate temporary spousal support, exclusive use of the marital home, and a 50% stake in my consulting firm. The attached affidavit detailed allegations of emotional abuse, financial control, isolation from friends and family, and my infidelity with a colleague, all false claims. Gerald remained silent upon reading the petition before looking up, acknowledging her attempt to reverse the narrative by making abuse and infidelity accusations, potentially arguing that the prenup was signed under duress or rendering it invalid based on my behavior. You can attempt to sow doubt, but we possess irrefutable evidence instead. What would be your preferred course of action? I wish to divulge all information, and Gerald briefly smiled for the first time during our meeting in his office. Introduce Mr. Vance to page 7 of our response. Our filing was submitted 6 days later. We didn't merely refute her claims, we systematically dismantled them with evidence. Bank statements demonstrated Colette had access to all accounts and made independent purchases frequently. Text messages from friends confirmed active social relationships. Photos of us at family gatherings contradicted isolation allegations. And Marlowe's investigative report, 43 pages, documented the affair, complete with photographs, hotel records, phone logs, witness statements from staff who recognized them as regulars. An affidavit from a valet who saw them kiss multiple times. We cited page 7, section 4C of the prenup agreement, requesting the court to enforce the infidelity forfeiture provision in full. Theodore Vance contacted Gerald the same day he received our filing, indicating a need to talk. An emergency hearing was scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m., initiated by Colette, who claimed immediate financial relief and protection from harassment. I arrived with Gerald at the courthouse at 1:45 p.m. Seated at the opposing counsel table were Theodore Vance and Colette, looking confident and composed in a conservative navy dress. Judge Patricia Monroe, known for her efficient courtroom management and disdain for theatrics, presided over the preliminary hearing regarding temporary support and asset access. Theodore argued that Colette had been denied access to marital funds, forced to remain in a hostile living environment, and experienced emotional distress due to infidelity and controlling behavior, necessitating immediate spousal support and exclusive use of the home while dissolution proceedings continued. Gerald countered, stating that not only were these claims false, they were contradicted by Colette's actions, as we had substantial evidence of her extramarital affair for at least 6 months, possibly longer. Judge Monroe requested the prenup and evidence packet. Upon reviewing the documents, she questioned Theodore regarding his familiarity with the prenuptial agreement, to which he admitted he hadn't read page 7. The clause stated that if either party engaged in extramarital affairs, they forfeited claims to spousal support and marital asset division beyond what they brought into the marriage. Colette admitted to the affair under pressure from Judge Monroe, effectively denying her request for temporary spousal support and exclusive use of the home. The prenup remained in effect, and a follow-up hearing was scheduled to finalize asset division according to its terms, with Colette entitled only to assets she brought into the marriage. Despite Theodore's allegations of emotional abuse, Gerald advised him to prepare for an unfavorable settlement without proof of actual abuse. The divorce was finalized on October 18th, 12 years and 5 months after we said our vows. Colette moved away, taking her personal assets, a car, and some household items, while I kept the house, business, and everything else. The false allegations were deemed inadmissible without proof of abuse, and Theodore advised Colette to settle quietly to avoid further exposure. Gerald had warned me about page 7 of the prenup before we signed it, emphasizing that it wasn't about distrust but clarity and accountability for our choices. The story serves as a reminder that sometimes the worst betrayals are prevented by agreements made when trust still exists, and those who have experienced similar situations are not alone. Protect yourself before you need protection.